You're looking at a new HDWhoop that just came out from BetaFpv. This is the Meteor85 HDZero 2S edition with 1103 motors on here and an 85mm frame. It's nice to see that HDWhoops are coming out, and we have a lot of options. You can also get this one in Walksnail. It's going to give you 1080p FPV. This one's going to give you 720p FPV. But I have to say that coming up, there's a lot of binding flies coming out with HDZero. So I do know about those. They're going to have lots of options. Some new goggles also coming down the pipe. So stay tuned for that. Now, that's going to make things cheaper for you if you're looking to get into micro HD whoops. And it's a pretty nice DVR quality that I'm going to show you coming up as well. So we're going to take this one with the 2S450 battery that came along with it. We're going to fly it indoors, and then we're going to go outside and do a little wild and crazy freestyle, because most of you guys know, if you've been watching my channel for years, that the 1103 motor and a 2S450 is one of my favorite combinations. In the Meteor series, if you're looking to pick up one of these, they have them in several different sizes. You get the 75, the 85, but I prefer the 85 just because it flies more like a bigger quad. So I like the way it feels. It power loops good, and it has really nice response at the high end of the throttle. So without further ado, let's go outside and do some flying, and also some flying indoors. You can fly this one indoors if you just turn down the camera and tilt it up outdoors, turn it down inside. So about 10 degrees tilt inside, we can rip around, and maybe 20, 25 degrees outside for power loops. Here we go.
Yeah, we about to have a good day. All my people down the ride, turning up into the sky, that's fast. Yeah, I'm about to break it down, babe. I get everything you want, really, just to get a smile, real talk. Boy, I get it for my people. Oh, 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 I know we don't get a sequel. No, no, no. Saying always come and ride with me. There's no time, it's like a present, go and fly with me. You and me, there ain't no limit past the sky with me. Saying rise with me, fly with me, vibe with me. Oh, yeah. Put my people in the high life limelight. They gon' always be the highlight of my life. Everything I do is all for them. Ay. Anything I want, I cop for them. I want the best life, but ain't nothing gon' be right if you just left mine. You be playing for your life, you go and test mine. You don't have to understand me, no, but you will reprimand it though. I got a big vibe, really, but it's fitting for two. No, I mean well, I don't really mean it for you. Unless you my guy, my fan, my sis, my fan, my friend, goddamn. Yeah, we about to have a good day. All my people down the ride, turning up into the sky, that's fast. Yeah, I'm about to break it down, babe. I get everything you want, really, just to get a smile, real talk. Boy, I get it for my people. Oh, 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 I know we don't get a sequel. No, no, no. Saying always come and ride with me. There's no time, it's like a present, go and fly with me. You and me, there ain't no limit past the sky with me. Saying rise with me, fly with me, vibe with me. Oh, oh, yeah. When tomorrow comes around too, ain't no limit with what I would do. Everything and anything for you. Ooh, oh. And if you out the circle, you should go. But if you in the circle, keep you close. To each and every one you mean the most. Ooh, oh.
Alright guys, welcome back from the flight test. This is the box that you get, the Meteor series on the front, and on the back you can see it is the 85 version with HDZero on board, and it also has built-in ELRS, which is running on 2.4, and that's going to be an SPI receiver. Inside the box you also get 4 extra bi-blade props, you get an HD to USB converter, an extra harness, and you get an extra camera mount, as well as a little shark fin for the top for turtle mode, and you get a USB-C converter with this little harness that plugs directly into the flight controller. And once you do that, you can access BetaFlight. It also came with 3 batteries inside the box. These are 2 S450 milliamps. They're not HVs, they're just the standard LiPos, and we got a product support card here. The Meteor85 with the 2 S450 battery weighs in at 80 grams exactly, and without the battery, you're looking at around 50 grams. So let's take a look at the Meteor 85 up close. It's very similar to the last one that we flew from BetaFpv. It has the same bi-blade props on here, which I like. I think they're nice, and if you want to go fast, you can really tilt this new camera up to around 35 degrees to 40 degrees for a maximum tilt. So at that point in your backyard, you're going extremely fast. So I cruise around the backyard about 20 degrees, and as you can see from my videos, I was going almost so fast that I was losing control of it at times. So if you feel that you're losing control with this quad, just lower the camera back down a little bit, say around 15 to 10 degrees, and that'll help slow this down a lot. But I have to say, durability factor on this quad is really high. I don't even think you're going to need an extra frame. With as much as I crashed it and bumped around the yard, it came back inside the house in one piece. It has a little bit of flex and a little bit of give to this frame. And I've seen these frames before. They seem to be the same type of frame that BetaFpv has been using for a long time. I will say that the battery on the bottom, it has to go in a certain way, and you have to point the XT30 over to this side. And if you're going to use any other type of batteries besides probably BetaFpv 2 S450s, I think it's going to be a really tight fit for you. So they made this to exactly fit their 452S batteries. And once they start to swell a little bit, if you don't take care of them after a while, it's going to be super hard to get that battery in there. And at that point, you might have to mod it and figure out how to put a strap on it. But I would prefer that they put straps on these types of quads. Maybe some time down the road they'll do that. That would be great. And again, you have XT30 here, and you have 2 screws on each motor there. So you can see 2 Phillips head screws. The wires go down to our F4 flight controller, and this has 12 amp ESCs on there. It is the latest version of an HD flight controller for 2S from BetaFpv. So again, only 12 amp ESCs, but you do have a bind button in the very front there for ELRS, and it serves as a bind button and a boot button if you want to reflash the firmware on here. I do like the fact that they are plug and play motors, and that means that these just unplug. If you have one of these 1103s go out, you can unplug it and put a new one in. And it looks like they are marked, or at least one of them is marked red, and the other ones are just not marked. But you can set up the motor direction inside Betaflight. That shouldn't be a problem. But we also have 1103 series motors, and I've talked about these before. This is kind of my micro brushless sweet spot, so to speak. I love this series motors. 11,000 kV. They don't draw a ton of battery sag, which is great. They don't draw a ton of amps. So when you're doing really high-powered power loops and things like that at 3/4 to full throttle, I didn't feel like the battery was sagging out at all. It is a brand new battery, but these perform pretty well, so I was happy with the performance of it. So durability is good, the performance is good, and again, if you've never flown 1103s on 2S, take it to a local playground, there's no kids around, and you'll have a ball with this, because this will bounce off things and keep flying. And that's the cool thing about this whoop versus some of the other whoops out there. When some of the whoops, even from BetaFpv, hit things, some of the older ones specifically will kind of like go into a tumble and hit the ground because it has flight controller freak out once the flight controller gets pushed. But this one kept rolling. And I was able to get a full-size XM Plus receiver up in here, and I just wanted to try that because no one else had. It looks like everybody else is using ELRS. Well, because it's built into it. They also did say that there was a built-in FR Sky SPI receiver into this, so it may be able to be switched over, and it is running on 2.4. The canopy also held up. It's only being held on by 3 screws, one here, and one here, and then the front right there, it just came right off. It's kind of floating up front to give you a little bit of dampening. And I didn't see any jello in the camera itself, but I really like this HDZero micro cam. I think the HDZero, it's going to be the budget pick for this year for HD whoops. Walksnail is nice. I don't have a pair of Walksnail goggles yet, and I've emailed Walksnail and asked them to send us one so that we can give you kind of a proper feedback about those. And I would like to see them because I know they are 1080p, and these are 720p, but this looked good. in the goggles. So I have some more reviews from HDZero stuff coming up, so you guys can stay tuned there. And it's going to be my budget pick this year, but you know, Walksnail is somewhere around the same price as the DJI systems. At that point, you could kind of choose what you're going to do DJI goggles to, or you're going to do the Walksnail goggles. Not much price difference at the end of the day. So I love my goggles too so far. So it's nice to see a Whoop option out there with a single layer of VTX that is so small that it can fit right above this 20 by 20 Whoop stack. This is really nice, but it flies great, and 1103 is a lot of fun. So if you want to check out the link down below, it is my affiliate link, and I'll get a kickback if you grab one to fly this winter. That would be super awesome, and it benefits the channel. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this little look at the Meteor 85 HD edition, HDZero. Pretty cool. And I like the little Knight's helmet up here that they have as an add-on. And you could probably strap a little, maybe a little Insta360 Go or a Go 2 up here. I'm pretty sure it would carry that if you wanted to do some kind of HD videos, or even the new Runcam Thumb 4K. It would definitely carry that. And it's a fun little dude. It's an animal, for sure. But you guys take care, and we will see you on the next one. I appreciate you. More reviews coming up this week. I'm Justin Davis. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.